Stop setting goals. Don't set any more goals. Instead, do this. Recently, I was listening to a lot of self-help videos like Bob Proctor and Mark Manson, and those guys are pretty good. I had the Audible library, so I listened to like hours of content. However, over time, it became a little bit repetitive. And one thing they kept saying was the power of goals. That you should write down your goals and read it like 5 times a day, and you can track your goals. I'm like, yeah, this stuff I guess is cool, but is it actually effective? Like, does it actually make me any more likely of accomplishing the aims I set out to accomplish? And I would even argue at times it makes me less likely because I'm using mental and physical energy on writing down my goal and reading it 5 times a day that I could be spending on putting in action towards accomplishing my aim. Not to mention the time as well. I'm using time on reading my goal 5 times a day when I could just be spending that time on putting in action towards the outcome I want to receive. That's what matters. Like, it doesn't matter the knowledge. It doesn't matter how much time you write down your goal. What matters is action. Like, knowledge without action is called futility. It doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. If you don't apply what you know, it doesn't matter what you know, right? So if I write down a goal but don't have action, my goal is not going to be accomplished, no matter how much I think I can attract it. And it gives you a false sense of assurance. Like, when I write down a goal, I think I made progress towards accomplishing that goal. When in reality, I didn't really do anything. I just wrote it down. So I don't like saying goals anymore. Now, goals, by goal, I'm not saying I desire this outcome at this time. I'm saying it's when we say I'm going to get this outcome in this way at this time. Like, it's boasting. That's the difference. Like, you say I desire to get 100 on my math test. That's not the type of goal I'm talking about. I'm saying when we say I'm going to get 100 on my math test tomorrow, that is boasting. Like, the Bible tells us, what is your life? Is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Like, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So why do we boast saying I'm going to do this tomorrow when we don't know if we'll be alive tomorrow? That type of boasting is evil. It's evil. It's evil. So what should we do? Like, many people set goals because it motivates them. They have something to go after. Yes, that's true, but it's because of the aim, not just the goal. See, clarity is so important. I like to say this. A clear vision of the future gives you greater awareness for what to do next. Like, if I know what I want, the inputs are easy to figure out. It's easy to figure out what to do to get what I want when I know what I want. But a lack of clarity is why so many people fail. They don't know what they want. So why would they have self-control? Why would they be motivated to accomplish what they don't know what they're going after? So clarity is so important. However, clarity does not equal boasting. Clarity does not say, I'm going to get this. No, clarity is just setting an aim. An aim is different than a goal. Imagine you have a target, right? A goal is saying, I'm going to hit this target in this way at this time. While an aim is having your bow and arrow and just aiming at the target, right? That is the difference. So you're probably thinking, okay, why does this matter, or how is it going to help me? So I'm explaining to you. So when I set a goal and I set a target that I want to hit, well, I'm focused on the outcome rather than the input. Right? It's focusing on what I want instead of what I can do to get what I want. And when I focus on that, I become stressed. I become worried because I'm focusing on something outside of my control. But when I focus on the aim, when I focus on my shot and where I'm pointing my bow and arrow, when I focus on what I can control, well, now I'm not worried. Instead, I have more awareness of how to accomplish what I set out to accomplish. So an aim focus you on the inputs, while goals focus you on the outputs. We can't control the outputs. We can only influence them through our inputs. So set an aim instead of a goal. The second reason is because a goal kind of limits you at times. Like, if I set a goal, let's say I want to get an 80 on my math test, okay, that target is kind of easy to hit at times. So by having that target, I just hit it. And then once I hit that target, once I get 80 on my math test, then I have to have another target or else I'm not going to be motivated because I already accomplished what I want to accomplish. But an aim is saying, okay, I'm going to do all that I can do to get the bullseye on this target. And guess what? An aim, when you have consistent actions, consistent inputs, that's like having greater power on your target. So if you already have the right aim, you just need the power to hit the target. And no matter how far the target is along the path, you're going to hit it because of your consistency. So if I aim for 80, but I have all the inputs correct, I'm going to get 100. But if I set a goal for 80, I'm going to limit myself. I'm going to put in less effort because less effort is required. So I'm not becoming my best self by setting a goal if the goal is low. Instead, if I set an aim, it's working on myself. I love what the Bible says. It says, in all labor, there's profit. Like when I put in work, there's going to be a profit from my work. And sometimes that profit is just you becoming better. It's you becoming more. So an aim is saying, I want to do all that I can do to do the best I possibly can do. And by having that aim, you often succeed. You often get better results than someone who sets a goal for complacency. See, and that's what often happens with goals. They become complacent. Complacent, see, is setting for the outcome that's under my potential. See, if I set a goal for 80 on my math test and I get that 80, I become complacent. I got that outcome when in reality it was under the potential that I could get, which was 100. So if I settle, I become worse because every time we're not getting better, we're actually getting worse. That's because entropy comes in and destroys whatever progress we made. I like to say this as well. All progress requires intention, but regression only requires neglect. In that if I want to get better at something, I need intentional, deliberate effort in the area I want to improve. But to get worse, all I have to do is neglect that area. And once again, entropy comes in and destroys whatever progress I made. And that's what happens with complacency. When we settle, we're not getting better. So by law, we have to be getting worse. But if I set an aim, I'm always going to get better because I'm always doing all I can do to do the best I can do. I'm doing all I can do to get the best outcome I possibly can. And guess what? Aims put you on the path of fulfilling your potential. Potential means getting better every day. If you get better every day, if you prove every day, you're on the path of fulfilling your potential. And that's what aims do. They get you to get better every day. While a goal, eventually, no matter how high you set that goal, it stops. And when you stop, no matter how high you are becoming complacent and you will get worse. So set aims for yourself. Aims, they give you the clarity you need to be motivated, but they're not boasting. You're not saying, I'm going to get this outcome in this way this time. That is boasting, and that is evil. All such boasting is evil. Instead, set aims. Now, once again, you can set a goal saying, I desire this outcome in this time in this way. And that's different than saying, I'm going to get this outcome in this time in this way. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop making goals. Instead, set aims. If you guys like this type of content, feel free to subscribe. Also, if you want to learn how to become influential, I wrote this book. It's called Controlling the Controllables, How Anyone Can Become Influential. And the message of the book is, when you control what you can control, you influence others to do the same. So it's based on a few principles of becoming influential. If you want to check that book out and become influential, go to my website. It's called awesomemurray.com, and you find a link to the book there. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And see you guys next video.